At the construction site at Ground Zero, a rare find, remnants of a ship dating back to the 18th century. We were allowed to climb down 25 feet to the site and see firsthand what archaeologists stumbled upon Tuesday.
Two curved timbers that were pulled up by a backhoe, and immediately thought that looks like a ship timber. So we stopped the backhoe and started excavating with shovels and uncovered a portion of this hull, and since then have uncovered the rest that you see.
And what we can see is believed to be half of a ship. Marine historian Norman Brower was brought in to take a look.
It appears to be an ocean-going vessel, probably at some time in the 1700s. It's heavily built, very solid frames close together.
One mystery, this circular structure that Brower says may have been used as a fireplace. An anchor was also recovered. How significant is this find?
I think it remains to be seen, what this ship really is, but it's pretty significant. I think it's pretty exciting. There haven't been that many ships found in Manhattan. It was something that ships were occasionally used as part of landfilling, so it probably was part of filling in this land. So it's not unheard of.
Because of the history here, archaeologists have been monitoring the construction site. The Wildlife Conservation Society shows just how much of Lower Manhattan was underwater hundreds of years ago in its Manhattan project. Compare that to now.
But mostly it just tells us about the landfill structure of this particular area and how they were reusing things like old boats to build out the land. Because the shoreline was originally at Greenwich Street, about a block that way.
Where we're standing now at one point was just the Hudson River.
The Hudson River, yeah.
The site is just south of where the World Trade Center towers once stood. This rare relic hidden for more than 200 years.
This is the kind of thing that archaeologists are always hoping to find and very rarely actually do. Yeah, well, it's a pretty significant find. It's the kind of thing that archaeologists are always hoping to find in landfill deposits. It's a ship. It was probably put here around in the early 1800s. We know that this area, this whole block, was filled in between about 1790s and the 1830s. So we figure the ship probably predates that and was used as part of the landfilling process. So they filled the ship with dirt and rocks, and in conjunction with timber cribbing features or landfill retaining structures on either side, sunk them to the bottom of the river and used it to create new land along the waterfront. At this point, we really don't know much. So we kind of just have to continue our analysis, see what what's under the boat, what's in the dirt around it, and see if that can tell us anything. We're assuming it was placed here in the early 1800s based on historic maps and how they show us how the shoreline progressed. Basically, they would just sink it little by little and gradually extend the shoreline, and usually build new wharves and piers out into the river, leaving a slip in between so boats could continue to sail in and out. And then as waterfront land became more and more valuable and more necessary, they would continue filling in and extending the shoreline gradually. And it's tied into commerce and trade of the early 19th century. There have been ships found in the city before. There was a famous one on Water Street found in the early 1980s. And it's the kind of thing that everyone always hopes to find. It's an exciting find. It's a big find. It's something that's interesting. We can get a lot of information about it. It's a very unique part of history that, we wouldn't have access to otherwise.